Good morning to everybody and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. It's a magnificent morning, it's a magnificent day, and it's springtime in Sydney, and we have Sydney Harbour at its absolute finest. Let me just give you a bit of a panning shot round Circular Quay just to show you how beautiful it is today. There's hardly a breath of air. It's warm and it's more like a summer's day than a spring day. A little bit of cloud in the air, but that's what we expect in springtime during this time of year in Sydney. Anyway, let's do a bit of a walk and talk style of vlog today, and I want to have a chat to you about a topic that I've got near and dear to my heart. Many years ago, when I was probably closer to 30 than what I was 60, I read a book by a famous American author, Dyer. He's written a number of beautiful books, and he has a very simple style of writing, but his messages are so timeless and so all-consuming. You know, as I said, I read this book about 30 years ago, and I still remember to this day the story, the metaphor that he used, which is very profound and quite profound indeed, and something which has stayed with me ever since, and something which I hope the rest of us can appreciate. I'll tell you the story. I picked up a story from his book. I forget which book I read though, so it could have been The Erroneous Zone, or it could have been one of the other books that he wrote, but I remember loving his books and reading quite a few of them. Here we have the Charlotte on the move, heading into Circular Quay to drop off its small load of passengers and pick up some more and head back over to where it normally goes. I'll try and do a vlog one day from each and every one of these ferry boats. I've been watching them from afar, but as summer approaches, I do have a desire now and a goal to do some vlogs atop of some of these ferry boats, which I've loved from ever since I was a kid. Anyway, let's talk about a story that I picked up from that book that I read all those years ago. And while the detail may not be exactly as Dyer described it in his book, I'll do my very best. Anyway, hopefully we can get the gist and the message and not worry about the ultimate detail. The story goes as follows. There was an older man who was going for a walk one day, and he was walking down the beach, down this long, beautiful ocean beach. And as he was walking, and what I'll do is I'll do my own little walk and talk as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. As he was walking along the beach, in the distance, he saw a figure which appeared to be somebody doing a dance along a beach, which piqued his interest. And as he walked and got closer, he noticed that it was a young man who was not actually dancing. What he was doing was that he was bending over and picking up starfish that had been washed ashore, washed onto the sand, and he'd walk along and he'd pick up a starfish and he'd throw it back into the ocean, because as the tide was going out, the starfish were going to be stranded on the beach, and as the sun started beating down on them, then the starfish would give up its life and they would dry out and die. So this young man, every afternoon, would walk along the beach, pick up the starfish and throw them into the ocean. And as the man got closer and closer, the young man would be picking up more and more starfish as he was going and hurling them into the surf. Anyway, I got to the point where they crossed paths, and the older gentleman said to the younger man, "What are you doing there?" To which the younger man responded, saying that I'm picking up these starfish that have been spewed out by the ocean, and I'm throwing them back into the ocean to give them another chance at life and another day to live and to enjoy the beauties of creation. And the old man couldn't help himself, as most people in their older age can't help themselves, and he wanted to give some advice to the younger man. So he turned to the younger man and said, "Why bother? Why bother? There are so many of these starfish that are on the beach. You keep on walking and you'll be seeing starfish for miles, because the ocean, that's what the ocean does. It spews up shells, it spews up starfish, and you can't stop it. It'll just keep on going forever." So the old man, or the elderly gentleman, advised the young man to not waste his time doing that and to try and identify some other pursuits in his life. But the young man looked at the older man and he said, "So what you're saying to me is that I'm not going to make a difference? I'm wasting my time?" And the old man said, "Well, obviously you're not going to make a difference." To which the younger man bends down, picks up another starfish and throws it so far into the surf that he amazed himself how far he could throw it. To which he turns around to the older man and says, "Well, I made a difference. I made a difference to that starfish." What a powerful story. What a powerful story that is. I don't know if it resonated with you as strongly as it resonated with me when I was a young man. But there is a very powerful message there saying that we don't have to help everybody. We don't have to change the world. We don't have to make a difference every single day to every single person. But there are times when even our small input, even our little contribution can make a world of difference to the people who we're engaged with and who we connect with. To young people, how do we use this? It's very, very simple. We all need to stay connected with the people around us, to our family and friends, and there are days where we don't make much of a difference, and yet there are other days where what we say and what we do makes the world of difference to them and also to the people who they engage with. You just never know. You just never know what your words of encouragement, your words of support, and your actual presence, what impact that has on the people around you. But one thing for sure and for certain is that if you're positive and your contribution is a positive one, then you set a ball in motion. You set a ripple effect in action. And that ripple effect not only impacts the person who you've changed or who you've helped, but it also goes on to help other people around as well. because one good deed leads to another, to another, to another, and before you know it, you've made an impact. You've changed the world in a small way, but a positive way. But it's also important to understand that the ripple effect also works in reverse. By you doing something good to somebody else, you feel good about it, and you continue to feel good about yourself, and you will continue to make positive contributions. Let's consider also the opposite. If you're being an a-hole and you're just causing grief to the people around you, all you're doing is complaining, all you're doing is adding to their burdens, all you're doing is causing pain to the people around you, then whatever you reap, you sow as well. And as they say, that we humans, if you're causing pain, you also feel the pain as well. So you can't get away from that pain that you're causing. So it's very, very simple. The message is very simple. Try and add value, try and be a positive influence to the people around you, and don't for any moment think that your contribution is insignificant. Regardless of what you do, if it's positive, if it's reinforcing, if it's supportive, it is welcomed. It is welcomed in both arms, and the contribution that you're making is making a difference. Never ever think that if you're doing something positive, even if it's not acknowledged, even if somebody doesn't say thank you, you've got to understand. You've got to be smart enough, mature enough, and grounded enough to know that people won't thank you there and then. But there may come a time in the future where they thank you, or you may be in their prayers. So just continue along your merry way, doing as best you can to as many people around you, and don't ever think that the positive contribution that you're making is not making a difference. Because as we said before, it's making the world of difference to them at this particular point in time when they may need you most. Take care, everybody. Let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. It's another glorious day to be alive. Stay connected. Most importantly, you need to stay connected. Our purpose as humans is to be connected to each other, to our family, our friends, our workmates, and to as many other people as possible. Remember, don't stop reaching out to each other. Be the leader in your connections and be the first to connect. And if other people don't want to connect with you, don't matter. Don't worry. You just do what's right, and time will show whether or not the ripple effect that you've pushed out is one that goes into perpetuity. Because you never know, as Wayne Dyer says, you never know how far that ripple will go, how many people that positive contribution will touch, and for how many years you will be remembered for by just one positive word and one act of kindness. Take care, everybody. Yasas. I love you all, and until we chat again tomorrow, I look forward to coming to you again from another place on Jim's 5am Club. Don't know where I'll be, but I'll be popping up somewhere, and hopefully we can share some positive messages and share and highlight the glory of this Sydney, the beauty of this Sydney, which is called Sydney. Yasas, take care, bye for now.